Hey y'all, this is Brandy, your upgrade with your biggest loser week 5 reviews and reactions. We're gonna go ahead and jump right into the feelings, the workouts, the weigh-ins, and of course the eliminations that come with watching Biggest Loser. Um, First, like last week we lost Dolores, right? And typically, we went over that, how everybody stays and talks about their experience and all that. Dolores was not about that life. She excused herself. She excused herself almost immediately. And then they opened to like the reality of where they are, right? So the game is well into play. It's week 5. And those big numbers weren't dropping anymore because by this time they lost all the water weight. Their bodies are becoming accustomed to the regimen, and this is why their first workout is not a gym workout. Bob lets them know that their trainers will meet them off campus, which they all seem very, very excited about. And so they go to the Aqua Center and meet for a pool workout. And y'all, I've done pool workouts and they are no joke. Like when you're in them, you're just like, oh, this is fun with the weights and everything. And then that evening, you wake up and you be like, when did I fall asleep? Like you be so exhausted. So when they got to the pool, like I was like, oh yeah, I already know. Like I already know they about to get it out of them. This is a time where everybody gets to join in on the emotion because most people have at least one thing about their body that they're not 100% confident about, or it's like they just don't love it, they just don't love it. So everybody having to get into a swimsuit is like next level. They weigh in, and this is the thing, they weigh in the sports bras and the tights every week. But the thought of being in a swimsuit had most of them shook. Even the guys were like, this is a real eye-opener. This is real. I don't even want to look at myself anymore. They did a lot of the things that we do in our water workouts at the gym, except race, because we kind of just stick to the weights and aerobics and stuff. And we got to see a little bit more of Terri. Like Terri is just in that pool. She did the whole fancy flip. I've been working on that flip forever. Every time I attempt a lap flip, I feel like I'm about to drown. I just can't, I haven't mastered it yet. I'm still working on it, but I haven't mastered it yet. But it was just really good to see them do something different. And I believe that they were really appreciative of doing something different because last week, Dolores pulling that 1 pound after them seeing how hard she worked just had everybody shook. So I think the coaches and everything just thought it was time to do something different. For their challenge, they had to do step-ups. And these wasn't just like no easy step-ups. These step-ups were like knee-high. Like, you have to really step up. And when I saw how high it was, I was just like, oh, Jesus, like, I know, I just don't know. I guess technically they've been training, so but they were as apprehensive as I was watching it. They was like, Lord, I do steps all. My girl, y'all know my girl Kim always come through. She's like, I run steps in the factory all day because she worked at the whiskey factory. But she was like, none of them are 16 inches high. Like, for real. So the challenge was they had to do as many reps as possible. And it was doing the steps, and they only had a 3-second break. So if they stopped for more than 3 seconds, they were eliminated from the competition. And it got real immediately. The team who won, of course, got a 3-pound advantage. So they start the challenge, and I think they were about 5 minutes in, and Kim was the first one to just kind of like not be able to go anymore. And I'm not saying that's to be except Kim. I know you be keeping up with them. Like, I'm not saying that that's to be expected, but she is one of the 2 oldest peoples people, one of the two older people there. So I wasn't surprised. I felt for her because I know that she really wants to contribute to her team, but she was the first one down on Team Blue. But y'all, even when it got started, Michael was like, I can do this all day. Just, you saw it in his face, like he was ready to do them steps. And I guess it wasn't as difficult for him because he is taller. Like I could see it being more difficult for the shorter people like him because they have to step up, where it's stepping up for everybody, but the taller you are, the less you have to bend. Does that make sense? Anyway, Michael was on it. Like he was just like a stepping machine. And then the red team, like, were keeping up. They had all the confidence in the world when Kim went down because they was like, okay, so it's only 3 of them versus the 4 of us, and the steps are cumulative. So at the end of the thing, at the end of the challenge, they were going to add all the steps together, and whoever has the most reps wins or whatever. So on the red team, Kat was the first one down. And then it was kind of tied. And then after Kat went down, Christy went down. But Christy didn't just go down. Like, I'm guessing she got dehydrated because they were calling for electrolytes for her. Her hands started to cramp up, and you could literally see them, like, cramping up and numbing up. And she was stepping up. She was like, ow, ow, ow. And I know that feeling because I don't get it in my hands. But y'all, let me tell y'all. The toe that lives next to the pinky on my left foot, that toe, like my middle and 4th digit toe on my left foot, I get cramps and they just kind of like take a bow. I don't know, y'all. I don't know how to explain it. But like I get those in my toes. So when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I feel for her so much. And they were they only, like I said, y'all, they only got a 3-second break in between each step. If they stopped for more than 3 seconds, Bob was like, get out of there. And so they were trying to give her water and electrolytes while she was still going, and it just wasn't working. So Christy went down. So then it's 2 still working on the red team, and 3, which is the Beast Megan, the Beast Micah, and Kyle still taking steps. And then Jim goes down, and of course Jim is that he goes down because he's so competitive, and I love that about Jim. He's so competitive and he wants to keep up so much. So it's just Terri, and she's just like wanting to keep it together for her team, and she kept pushing and she kept pushing, but she just didn't have it. And so Terri went down, and the blue team was still going. You hear me? Kyle was still going, and Micah was still going. And so Micah just kept going. I mean, his shirt was drenched. You hear me? And so after he finally just decided to stop, because that's what had to happen, he decided to stop. Blue team wins. The red team had over 700 steps, but the blue team had over 1,300 steps. So that was a pretty big win for the blue team. And so from there, we go to their group session, and everybody's talking about the changes that they made, right? And so they're saying soda. It's like, I hadn't had a soda, and I'm like, we don't say we don't say soda here. Every drink is a cold drink, even if it's hot. Yes, even if it's hot. Every drink is a cold drink. So they was like, I hadn't had a soda, in this long. And then Steve says he hadn't had a soda with sugar in it in over 15 years. And I loved Megan so much when she was like, okay, so let's talk to the normal people. Like, that's not normal, Steve. Just not normal. mean, that just tickled me. Just like, okay. And they were just talking about how they get their calories. And eventually they got to the point where Micah says he drinks 2 4 Locos a day. And Jim was just like, whoa, kid. Like, you did that at my age, you'd be a raging alcoholic. And it basically got to the point where everybody agreed that he kind of had a problem. Like, and he said he just want to feel numb. Like, he feels like his life, he felt like, because I believe that Micah's making amazing changes. He felt like his life wasn't going anywhere. He didn't want to feel anything. And so he would do that so that he wouldn't feel anything. And I think a lot of times that's why we eat. Like, he's medicating on both spectrums. Like, he's eating the pain away and drinking the pain away. But most of us eat the pain away and do other stuff. Like, so it's understandable, and I think it's so amazing that people get to see him, you know, admitting this and letting people know, you know, why and how this has affected him. And I hope that after this experience, he don't drink another 4 Loco again. Like, I thought those drinks were banned. I don't know. Yeah. And so from that last chance workout, and so y'all already know, like, anytime I see them doing box jumps, I'm over it. At first, like the first time when I did it, I was all over it. And for those of you who hasn't seen it, you can check out my box jump attempt right here. But like, I'm just over it. Just like, y'all, that's too much. It's too much. I enjoyed, yes, I'm gonna say I enjoyed something Steve did. I enjoyed that Steve he didn't set a time, he set a pace. So as long as it took this teammate to accomplish, you know, a 1/4 mile or 400 or whatever on the treadmill, that's when they would stop. Everybody would rotate. And I thought that was good. Like, it wasn't like, oh, rush to do this, like having to meet the time. It's just having to meet the pace. And I did like that aspect of his last chance workout. What we need to get to are these eliminations, right? Of course, what I'm looking forward to is the Beast of the Weeks, the 2 people who lost the most weight on their team. So the blue team's Beast of the Week was Micah, of course, because Micah beasted through the challenge. He beasted through his workouts, and he's actually beasting through a lot of these emotional revelations as well. So he lost the most weight on the blue team. He lost 7 pounds, which was 2.48 body fat percentage, which is awesome. And on the red team, the Beast of the Week is Christy. Christy lost 7 pounds. Christy with the good hair. Lost 7 pounds, and that was 2.98 body fat percentage for her. So she's the biggest loser on the red team. Kat lost 4 pounds, which was 1.53%, which put her under the yellow line for the red team. Blue team won the weigh-in. Of course, the blue team won the weigh-in. Blue team had the 3-pound advantage. But Kat is going home. It was so emotional. Like, we already know how close Kat is to Kimmy, and they both were a wreck. Like, it wasn't good at all, and I wasn't good at all watching it. And then before she left, she pulls out a note out of her bra and hands it to Kimmy. And afterwards, Kimmy reads the note, and it's just like, I wasn't worth anything. Just how much, you know, she loves her, and how important she was to her journey, and how they're soul sisters. And it was just so much. It really was. It was just so overwhelming. And I'm so sad to see Kat go, because Kat is just spicy. Like, that's what she adds. She was in that pool. She was like, I grew up with the largest residential pool in Jacksonville. I'm like a mermaid or a dog. Like, she was just like, just spicy. I'm really sad to see her go. Like, I'm sad to see her go. Like, I was sad to see, I'd be sad to basically see everybody go, but who gonna slay for me? Like, who gonna make me look at the makeup? I mean, obviously, you know, I'm into that. Ericka be slaying a little bit though. Like, I've peeped her game and her lashes be flawless. So maybe I'll start looking at Ericka. But y'all, week 5, we're down to just 7 people. It's not 3 left on the red team, 4 left on the blue team. I feel like it's time to shake it up like they normally do. So I can't wait to see what episode 6 shows. And that's it for me, guys. Don't forget to be your own biggest loser. Bye, y'all.